Hello, everyone, and welcome back to Cyrus Webb Presents. I'm your host, Cyrus Webb. Glad you all could join us once again. For those tuning in on the simulcast on Facebook, LinkedIn, YouTube, and on X, we're glad you all could be with us. Going to bring in our friends over on IG so they can be a part of our chat. And last but certainly not least, going to connect with our friends over on Amazon Live. Now, I know, our next guest was just with us last week. but we're excited to have her back though because we have a lot to talk to her about. She has an event that's coming up, and we're now live on the Amazon Live platform with Cyrus Webb Presents. If you guys are new to us on Amazon, welcome. Thank you so much for being with us. Make sure you guys hit that follow button though, either here on this corner or down below. You also will see some of the books by our next guest. Dr. Velma Bagby is back with us today. You know her as an Amazon best-selling author. She's a marriage coach, media personality, and speaker. We're going to talk to her about a very busy season that she's in right now that's culminating into a very important event taking place on November the 1st. So if you guys are not following Dr. Velma, we'll let you know how to do that. But Dr. Velma, how you doing?
I'm doing wonderful and I'm excited to be on the platform again.
Well, look, appreciate it. We were Jacqueline Cox is over on IG. Jacqueline, we were just talking about you. She says hello as
Yes.
well. Mary Stacy, hello to you over there on IG. So, Dr. Velma, a lot for us to cover. Our audience will tell that I very strategically have three books that are here around me. I have the first book you and I connected with, The Catch No One Wants. I'm going to highlight it for you guys over on the Amazon side there. You may wonder why I have that book there. I'm going to tell you. Also, we have her newest book you guys can see here, Finding Your Voice After Corporate Laryngitis. I have it
Hmm.
here in the carousel for you guys. And also, we have her book, Hold Your Head Up, Princess, the expanded story. So, Dr. Velma, everything you have going on right now, leading up to November 1st, is kind of built around these three books. But talk to us about this season. What has it been like for you to see how already in this final quarter of 2025, how busy you've been?
I couldn't believe it, Cyrus. Really, it took somebody who reads my books and follows me and became a great friend to make a comment said, I can't keep up with you. That's when I realized how much has occurred this year.
Mhm,
I can't believe the number of books I've released,
mhm.
uh, the anthologies I've participated in.
Yeah,
At some point, you have to have help,
yeah.
and I'm thankful I have help.
Yeah, good deal. Good. And
Hmm.
you know what's so interesting, and you and I have talked about this, Dr. Bama, and I have said, I've shared with Dr. Bama privately, and I've even mentioned it on these platforms. When I first met Dr. Bama, I only knew her as someone involved in dating, marriage, relationship topics I have no interest in. Most of my audience know, but her
You
books
said
were
that.
really good. So I really enjoyed the books and the conversations. But then when I saw she could write other things, I was like, oh, wait a minute, okay. I guess
Hold
she got
on.
me here with this. So that's why I'm so glad you have Hold Your Head Up, Princess. You have Finding Your Voice After Corporate Laryngitis. Is that what you're hearing from other people, Dr. Velma, that they're enjoying reading other things from you?
Yes, they are. And what's interesting is many of those projects came from anthologies I participated in. And
Mhm.
as a result, people said, man, this is really good. I said, well, this is something I probably should do more with.
Mhm.
That's what happened with corporate laryngitis, the conversation you and I had. You said you really need to do this. And conversation I had with Jacqueline Cox, she
Mhm.
was the one that designed the cover. We talked about it, and she helped me with that project during my grieving process when my
Yeah.
sister went home to be with the Lord. And so, what I'm saying is, they evolved. And yes, all of that is in me. But those moments appeared and opportunities came for me to expand upon those little short stories I put in these anthologies. They warranted more. They warranted
Right.
more of an expansion and more of a story. And I was really thrilled when you made that suggestion because as I was working on finding your voice, I understood some things that I hadn't talked about that really
Mhm.
needed to be said that would be helpful to the next person. And
Yeah.
in this environment we're in, with so many people getting laid off and leaving corporate,
Yes.
this
Yes.
would help them in that journey as well as a new person stepping into the literary world wanting to become an author. So the timing of it was really great. And I'm just thankful that you made the suggestion, have your finger in my back. And then I had some help from Listen Linda.
Well, let's talk about that a little bit more, Dr. Bell,
Hmm.
because I think, and when I was prepping for today, what I thought about was even outside of the literal aspect of this, I think this book really reminds all of us that each of us has our own unique voice and that we shouldn't let anyone or any circumstance try to change that.
Yeah.
And for those who have done that, who have lived their lives in a way that is not true to them, this book kind of offers them the keys on how they can break free of that and be able to embrace their own voice. Now, in connection with that, we have Hold Your Head Up Princess. I'm going to highlight it for our audience on the Amazon side. And the reason why I have this book up here, Dr. Bam, is because if it was not for this book, this is the first time you've ever shared your story. None of us
Yeah.
knew any of what you shared in the short story that became this book. So talk to us about what it's been like for you to let us know about little Dr. Velma before she became Dr. Velma, and kind of what you were able to go through as a young person and how it mirrors what so many people go through today.
It really made me realize as I was writing it, the journey that God allowed me to go through to become who I am now, to
Yeah.
do what I'm doing now. I enjoy inspiring other people. I enjoy
Mhm.
encouraging people. And even
Yeah.
in my effort to talk about dating for marriage, most of my conversation is tied to that person and where they are in that moment and pulling them out of a place many times that they're in where they have poor self-esteem, poor self-worth. I mean, they just do not value who they are. So
Yeah.
who cares about talking about a mate? Let's talk about you and try to get you there. And so my experiences during that time, if it wasn't for the things that my mother and my father said to me that helped me during that time, I probably could not have made it. But the other thing I love about being a middle schooler and a child, we have not, at that age, we have not been impacted by some of the negativity in the world that changes your personality, changes your outlook. You're still kind of joyful. You still kind of look forward to each day. So a kid is not burdened with all the stuff we're burdened with as an adult. So even as a middle schooler, I look for an opportunity to just demonstrate I wasn't what everybody said. Yes, I'm poor. Yes, my family, we're a family of eight, and my mother is a single mother. Yes, that was typical back then. Yes, I was a latchkey. But let me show you what this latchkey, this poor girl being raised by a mother of eight children can do. And so I sought to really make sure my grades stayed at eighth A level, all of my grades. And so that was my goal, so that you can classify me as something else.
Mhm.
Classify me based on what I'm able to achieve in school rather than all these other things. And that's what I set out to do instead. And every place in that book throughout my life, that was always my response to something negatively thought about me or words said about me. I always chose to change your mindset by demonstrating what I can do.
Love that. Love that. Jacqueline says, yes, Hold Your Head Up Princess was in the Women of the Waiting Room, and she really poured into it. It made me triple my respect for her once I read her story. And I think that's what so many people are feeling, Dr. Velma, is that,
Mhm.
it helps them to better connect and to show that it doesn't matter, you know, who you are. All of us
Right.
have our challenges. It really is up to you if you're defined by those. Which leads us then to the book I have front and center, The Catch No One Wants. Again, the book that kind of kicked it off, as I mentioned, for me, you are gearing up for something November the 1st, Dr. Velma, that kind of takes you into this, but also in what you've done with your show, Dr. Velma Talks. Talk to us about what's coming up on Saturday, November the 1st.
On 111, on 111, we're going to be hosting a live virtual conference, and the title of the conference is How Do You Know You're Ready?
Hmm.
Can you handle what you're asking God for? So these are conversations I've had for close to 10 years now. I've
Yeah.
written about it. The book series, the Catch series is talking about it. And
Mhm.
that's why it was exciting for you to discover other things I can talk about, Cyrus, because I talked so much about that for so many years.
Right.
But I'm excited. So it was time to do something different, and I appreciate the
Yeah.
encouragement. And then Melissa joined me in helping me getting all the tools and things done and behind the scenes. And she's going to be one of my speakers, as well as Tracy is going to be one of my speakers. I'm
Yeah.
trying to get Tracy Glass, and so I'm
Glass. Yeah.
excited.
Hmm.
I'm excited to be able to offer the panel of discussions, presentations, so that those listening can not only get my perspective because they've heard from me before, but they can hear from other people regarding this subject. And I'm
Yeah.
excited about it that day. So we're hoping we can dive in to helping you understand if you truly do uh, believe you're ready. Let's give you some examples of how you can measure your readiness.
Yeah.
And so we're going to use many cases, elements of Esther's story. Esther
Mm.
prepared herself for 12 months and what was involved in that preparation.
Yeah. 12 months, Dr. Bama, a lot of people these days have gotten engaged, married, divorced by that and moved on.
Right. And could have saved themselves some time had they done it properly.
But but this is so interesting. So this is really good. So talk to us then about who this is for. Is this for men and women, primarily for women? Who do you see as the audience for the upcoming event?
Well, the audience is the women, of course. And
Okay.
when I look at my analytics, most of my audience are single women around the age of 40 to 60 plus.
Oh wow. Okay.
The group that really needs to hear it is that 30 group, kind of my daughter's age. We've been having a lot of conversations about all of this as I've been moving along, because she's in the mix now. She's there, but it's her generation that's having difficulty. So my analytics tells me who I'm talking to. So
Yeah.
it's designed for single women,
Gotcha.
anyone who has a mindset that they want to discover the man that God has for them. And maybe you're with someone you believe is. You might learn some things during this conversation. So I'm hoping they'll gain some tips and tools and take a different approach because and let me tell you, counterfeits can't handle covenant.
Mm.
So you just
Wow.
talked about someone getting married, getting divorced in less than 12 months. I was talking about Esther being prepared for 12 months, and you said
Right.
some people get meet a person, marry them, and divorce them in the same 12 months I'm talking about. And that's
Right.
because they didn't take the time to really change their strategy. So we're not talking about casual dating. That does not work when you're trying to discover someone you want to live the rest of your life with. It
Mm.
has to be covenant focused. So it changes the dynamics of who you meet, what you say, the conversation, the discussions, and all of that. And then how long do you have the conversations? Because you're not wasting your time with someone for 2 years and you still haven't discovered if that person is the person you're going to spend your life. It doesn't take that long to know
Mm.
who they are. And
Yeah.
so it's important for you to have a different strategy. So this is a covenant based strategy. I'm looking for the person that I want to spend my life with. But the question becomes, if that's the case, what work have you done to prepare for that? So, are you really ready? That's the real question. And
Right.
many of the time, for me, if I was answering it for some of the women I've met, the answer would be no, they're not.
Right. Well, I think if they're honest with themselves, the answer would be no. MB, hello to you. She says,
Ah,
congratulations, excited to be a part of your event. And I think this is such a great thing. Alton Nicole Brown, hello to you over there on IG. I want to reset real quick, Dr. Bama. I see people coming in over on YouTube as well. You all are watching Cyrus Webb Presents. We're on Amazon Live, but we're simulcasting on Facebook, LinkedIn, YouTube, X, and on Instagram. Dr. Velma Bagby is back with us. She's a media personality, motivational speaker. She's an Amazon best-selling author. She's also an individual who's been able to have years of experience in doing counseling and coaching with marriages. We're talking about her books that you all see here. There's more though over on Amazon, so you guys can see the listing there. But also, she has an event that's coming up on Saturday, November the 1st, 111, as you heard her say earlier. Just for the audience, that is great for this series, the Catch series. So, Dr. Bama, one thing we did mention is the event you're doing is free. So, what do you hope people who come to the virtual conference, what do you hope they're able to take away from it?
I hope they are able to take away some insight, a new perspective, a new mindset in terms of how they begin to prepare themselves. Because preparation is important, and it's interesting how, among so many that I've met, it's unimportant. And so
Mm,
that's not my audience. I want that group of people who said, you know what I'm doing is not working. Let me get away from what I've been doing because it's broken.
yeah.
System that we use and practice that's been in existence for 200 years, it's really broken. It wasn't never designed for us to make that a practice unless you're in high school. So
Mm,
that's casual dating. But looking for your lifelong mate, that requires a different strategy. And I hope they walk away with great insight from the speakers, great information and tips that they can use, and hopefully we'll be connecting so that we can continue the journey.
Love that. Jacqueline brings up an interesting point, Dr. Velma, over on IG. She says it's good talking about your event. It's good for married couples as well to brush up on some things we may be lacking. I think that's a really interesting point because as we see the new stats show still that now over half of marriages end in divorce.
Yeah,
It used to be right at 50-50, and now it's over that now, the 51%, which is really staggering to think about. But of course, going to the conversation we're having, Dr. Velma, it makes sense because of, again, people not getting everything, and no one's going to be perfect,
no.
right? But I mean, getting things at least to where they need to be. So I want to talk about that for a second because I one thing I haven't talked about in the slashes I've mentioned about you is your shows. You have two podcasts. You have Dr. Velma Talks, but
Hmm.
you deal with this very topic, but also you have your other show, Finding Your Voice, as well. So I want to talk about Dr. Velma Talks and the connection here because I think for a lot of people, Dr. Velma, so much of, and I'm speaking in general because I don't want to, I'm not trying to, because this is not my area. I'm just going by things I hear and what I see. That so many decisions are made on emotion. Is that something that you see a lot when it comes to dating? People have a feeling that this is the one, they feel something, that
I
this
used
is
to
the
call,
one.
well, my mother had a saying, and I don't know how hard this is going to be to so many people, but I had a strong, very strong willed single mother who kept an organized household.
Mhm,
She said to my brothers, all five of them, well, one had passed away, all four of them. She said, "You can fall in love with a dog if you hang around it long enough."
mm.
You ever seen that where you see a dog?
Yeah,
Oh, he's so cute. He's so
right,
you. That's not what we're talking. That's the wrong strategy. So we
right.
focus on the wrong things many times. Oh, he's got a great job. He's got good money. He's got the right size. He's this tall.
Hmm.
I had a husband, a list too. I said, God, send me a man 6 feet and I want him to have bold legs. God sent me one that's 5'9" and has slewed feet. So what am I going to do with that? I'm going to
Hmm.
say, God, you're wrong. I'm
Yeah,
married and we've been married over 50 years. So what I'm saying is we focus on what I call conditions that
yeah,
change over time. What you're looking at is not going to look the same in 20 years or
right.
30 years. Those are conditions. You should look for qualities that matter. Examine the heart of this person and stop looking at things like money and job. I made more than my husband in the beginning, but he left me in his dust within 5 years on purpose. He said, "No, I'm not going to have this. You can't be making more than me." So and that gave me an insight of who I married because he
Right.
said, "Oh, no, I'm the man. Let me," and he did well and left me in his dust within 5 years. So I'm saying we look at the wrong things. Those things
Yes.
don't matter because it could flip anytime. I met a person who married and the wife left him when he became ill, saying she didn't sign up for that. Yeah, this is stuff that happens, but
Right.
none of that matters. You're
Right.
talking about covenant, which means that's your lifelong mate. And so it's just those kind of things, Cyrus, that people focus on. That just does not matter. It's not worth the time. You can't build love on how high, how tall he is, and you can't build
Yeah.
love on how much money he makes. You build your love on that person based on their heart and the quality of that individual.
Yeah. Jacqueline says, I sure wasn't expecting what I have, but I promise I'm grateful, the happiest I've ever been. And it isn't anything that was on my little 18-year-old list I had. And so
Yeah.
I think, that says a lot. And I think that's why conversations that you're in a position, I have prided myself over the years, Dr. Van, having an open platform where guests that are knowledgeable can come on and talk about things.
Yeah.
That's why I tell people I don't talk about things I don't know anything about because I can't help anybody because I don't know what I'm talking about. And it goes to what you're talking about, that a lot of times people get into relationships and marriages that they don't know, with people they don't know anything about either. it, and then they wonder why things don't work out. So a lot for our audience to be able to, as we're kind of over halfway through now, the
Uh-huh.
month of October, a lot for you guys to be able to pick up. So let me say, for those looking for motivation, inspiration for young individuals, but also for adults as well. Hold Your Head Apprentice is a great book to be able to add to your reading
Mhm.
list for those looking to be able to find their own individual voice and to see how they can be able to walk in their own God-given purpose. The book you guys see here, I'm going to highlight again for you guys. Finding Your Voice After Corporate Laryngitis will be great for you all. And then, of course, the Catch series, which Dr. Velma got to be known for. If you guys have not read that about Veronica, which is a fascinating individual, and also her father as well, Grayson, then definitely you want to pick up the Catch No One Wants. But this series ties in perfectly again with the event you're having, Dr. Velma, again on 111. So tell them again the name of the virtual conference on Saturday, November the 1st, and also we'll let them know how to get more information.
It's how do you know you're ready? Can you
Mhm.
handle what you're asking God for?
There you go. So make sure you guys are following her on social media. Hey, Natasha, good to be to see you, Natasha Frazier. Follow her on social media. You'll be able to find the link there. Again, it is free. So make sure you guys are definitely following Dr. Velma there. And Dr. Velma, let them know how to go to your website and sign up for your newsletter.
Sure, is drvelmabagby.com. That's my website. You can
Mhm.
subscribe there if you wish, or you can follow me on all the social media platforms as Dr. Velma Bagby.
Love that. Dr. Velma, congratulations to you again.
Thank
Excited
you.
about our next chat as we're able to talk about the event and definitely looking forward to our next conversation as well.
Thank you. I appreciate it, Cyrus.
You're more than welcome. And we thank your audience for tuning in to another great segment of Cyrus Webb Presents. Until next time, you'll make it a great one. We'll talk to you soon. Take care.